Most people think they know what cognac is. They've heard the name, they've seen the bottles, they've heard it in 100 songs, but ask them to actually explain it, and they go quiet. And that's not their fault, because nobody ever told them the real story. The story that starts with wine rotting on a boat in the 1600s and ends with a tiny French town controlling one of the most valuable drinks on the entire planet. That's what we're doing today. But real quick, before I forget, I need to share something else with you. There is some hidden information connected to what we put in our bodies that directly affects your wallet and your long-term health. I'll share how to get that in about 2 minutes. Anyway, I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to understand something that most people who drink cognac every single week still don't know. Let's go. Before anything else, we need to kill the biggest myth right now. Cognac and brandy are not the same thing. People use those words like they're interchangeable. They are not. Here's the simplest way I can put it. All cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac. You know how all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. Same exact logic. Cognac is a very specific type of brandy, and what separates it from every other brandy in the world is not the taste, it's not the bottle, it's not the price. It's one thing: location. Cognac can only legally be called cognac if it comes from one specific region in southwestern France, a region built around a small town, population about 18,000 people, smaller than most American suburbs. But that town's name, that tiny obscure French town's name, is now worth billions of dollars globally. How does an 18,000-person town end up owning one of the most recognized luxury words in the world? That story starts on a river in the 1600s. The Charente region of France was wine country. Farmers grew grapes, made wine, sold it. Dutch merchants would sail their ships up the Charente River, buy the wine, load it onto boats, and haul it back to northern Europe. It was a clean, simple trade. Except for one problem that kept ruining everything. Wine spoils. A long sea voyage, weeks on the water, shifting temperatures, constant movement, and by the time your product arrived, it was vinegar. Merchants were losing money, farmers were losing buyers, the whole trade was fragile. So the Dutch came up with a solution. Instead of shipping wine, distill it first. Heat the wine until the alcohol evaporates, capture that vapor, condense it back into liquid. Now you have something far more concentrated, far stronger, and far less likely to go bad on a boat. And speaking of things going bad, this is what I needed to tell you earlier. The Dutch figured out how to preserve wine naturally, but today the American food industry preserves the stuff we eat with hidden additives that literally destroy your metabolism and age your body twice as fast. Think about that for a second. When was the last time anyone told you this? They keep it quiet because treating your symptoms makes the medical and diet industries billions of dollars every year, but you were the one paying for it out of your own hard-earned pocket. I put together an exclusive breakdown of the exact foods doing this and the fat-burning foods you actually need to protect your health and your family's savings. I cannot share it publicly because the algorithm heavily suppresses videos that expose big food companies. But if you go over to my Instagram right now and send me a message with the words fat burning, I will send you the entire guide directly. It's like grabbing a massive coupon for your future health before it disappears from the shelf. It's just the smart move. They called it brand wine, burnt wine. That is the origin of the word brandy. The plan was always to dilute it back with water once it arrived at its destination. Add water, restore the volume, sell it as wine. Simple. Except then something happened that nobody expected. Merchants started tasting the barrels that had been sitting on ships for weeks, aging inside oak wood during those long voyages, and the flavor was remarkable. Nothing like fresh wine, nothing like fresh brandy either. Something richer, something smoother, something with layers. The oak wood was changing the liquid from the inside. It was pulling out harsh flavors and replacing them with vanilla, caramel, warmth, depth. The longer it sat in the barrel, the better it got. Nobody planned this. Nobody engineered it. It was an accident. One of the most profitable accidents in history. By the way, a lot of people have already headed over to message me that keyword fat burning. The folks who already messaged are ahead, but you can absolutely still catch up if you grab it now. And once the people of the Charente region understood what was happening, they stopped thinking about how to preserve wine for shipping. They started thinking about something much bigger. Now we need to talk about the rules, because this is where cognac gets genuinely serious. The French decided at some point that what was being made in the Charente region was too special, too unique, too tied to that specific land to let anyone else copy it. So they built a rule book. And this rule book is not a guideline. It is not a suggestion. It is law, backed by the French government, protected by the European Union. If your product doesn't follow every single one of these rules, you cannot call it cognac, legally, full stop. Let's go through them. Rule 1 is location. The grapes must be grown and the spirit must be produced inside the official cognac region. And within that region, there are 6 growing zones, called crus, ranked by the quality of their grapes and soil. The top zone is called Grand Champagne, and before that word confuses you, it has nothing to do with sparkling wine. Champagne is an old French word that simply means open countryside. But Grand Champagne grapes produce what most experts consider the finest cognac on earth. Rule 2 is the grapes themselves. Not just any grape is allowed. The dominant variety used in cognac production is called Ugné Blanc. And here's the irony. As a wine grape, Ugné Blanc is considered pretty mediocre. It's highly acidic, low in sugar. The wine it produces on its own is thin and unremarkable, but those exact qualities, high acid, low sugar, make it almost perfect for distillation. The same traits that make it a bad wine grape make it an exceptional cognac grape. Rule 3 is the still. Cognac must be distilled twice, and it must be distilled in one very specific type of copper pot still called a Charente alembic. Not a modern column still, not any other design. This specific shape, this specific method, this specific copper. Twice, no exceptions. Rule 4 is the wood. After distillation, the spirit must go into French oak barrels, specifically barrels made from oak sourced from 2 forests, Limousin and Trancé. These particular oaks have a specific grain density and porosity that allows the spirit to breathe through the wood in a very controlled way. The interaction between the liquid and that specific oak is what gives cognac its color, its vanilla notes, its rounded character. And Rule 5 is time. Cognac must age for a minimum of 2 years, but within that, there's a grading system. VS, which stands for very special, means it has aged at least 2 years. VSOP, very superior old pale, at least 4 years. XO, extra old, at least 10 years. And beyond XO, there are designations like hors d'âge, which essentially means beyond age, reserved for cognacs blended from barrels that have been aging for 20, 30, sometimes 50 years or more. 50 years in a barrel before it touches your glass. Wrap your head around that. It is incredible how time makes this drink so much better, while the everyday foods we are told are healthy are causing our bodies to break down. What I just explained earlier about those hidden ingredients is costing the average American household hundreds of dollars a year in fake health foods and doctor visits without them ever realizing it. That breakdown covers exactly how to stop it. You now know more than 90% of people watching this. The ones who message fat burning on my Instagram will know the other 10%. Now let's talk about the names you actually know. There are 4 producers that dominate global cognac sales: Hennessy, Remy Martin, Martell, Courvoisier, the Big 4. Between them, they account for the vast majority of every bottle of cognac sold anywhere in the world. Hennessy is the biggest. And here's something most people don't know about Hennessy. It was started by an Irishman. Richard Hennessy was a soldier. He served in the French army in the mid-1700s, settled in the Cognac region after his service, and started a trading business. That Irish soldier's family name is now the most recognized cognac brand on earth. Today, Hennessy is owned by LVMH, the French luxury conglomerate that also owns Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, and Dom Perignon. One company. Hennessy's single largest market in the entire world is the United States. Remy Martin is the choice for people who are serious about quality. They have a self-imposed rule that goes beyond even the legal requirements. They only use grapes from the top 2 growing zones, Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne. Everything they produce is elite tier by default. Martell is the oldest of the 4, founded in 1715. 300 years of unbroken cognac production from the same region. 3 centuries. That's older than the United States itself. And Courvoisier has perhaps the most legendary brand story of all 4. Napoleon Bonaparte was a devoted fan. When he was stripped of his empire and exiled to the island of St. Helena, isolated, defeated, far from everything he'd built, legend says he brought barrels of Courvoisier with him into exile. Whether every detail of that story holds up under historical scrutiny, Courvoisier leaned into it for 200 years. And that association with Napoleon, with empire, with power, with a man who shaped an entire continent, gave the brand an identity that money genuinely cannot buy. Here is the part that surprises almost everyone when they first hear it. The United States is the largest cognac market in the world by a significant margin. More cognac is consumed in America than in France, more than in China, more than anywhere. And the reason for that is not advertising. It is not a corporate strategy that someone planned in a boardroom. The reason is hip-hop. In the 1990s, cognac started appearing in rap music constantly. Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg. These were not paid endorsements. These were artists rapping about what they actually drank, what felt like success, what felt like arrival, what felt like you'd made it. Cognac had that energy. It was luxury without being pretentious. It was expensive without being inaccessible. It fit perfectly into a culture that was celebrating Black excellence and economic ascent after decades of being told that kind of success wasn't available. The cognac houses, Hennessy especially, recognized what was happening and responded intelligently. They didn't try to change the culture or redirect it. They showed up authentically. They invested in Black-owned events, built relationships with artists and communities, and created genuine two-way loyalty rather than one-way marketing. The result is remarkable when you step back and look at it. A drink born from Dutch pragmatism on a French river in the 1600s, shaped by centuries of French law and tradition, became one of the defining symbols of American hip-hop culture in the late 20th century. Nobody designed that. Nobody predicted it. History just moved the way history moves. But you know what isn't an accident? The way the big food industry keeps us hooked on things that drain our energy. If you have kids or aging parents at home, what I described earlier about these hidden health traps matters even more. This is the part they do not teach you because it is not profitable for the industry if you know it and stop buying their junk. Message the words fat burning to my Instagram and I will send you the full picture so you can protect the people you care about. Let's finish with the flavor, because if you've never had cognac or you've had it and weren't quite sure what you were tasting, this will help. Think of cognac flavor in 3 tiers based on age. Young cognac, your VS bottles, 2 to 4 years old, is bright and fruit-forward. You'll notice fresh grape, citrus, sometimes a little floral quality. The oak is there, but it's gentle. It hasn't taken over yet. Young cognac is excellent in cocktails. A classic sidecar mixed with ginger ale or ginger beer over a big ice cube on a warm night. This is where cognac is most approachable for people who are just getting started with it. Middle-aged cognac, VSOP, 4 to 10 years, is where the wood starts to become a character of its own. The bright fruit is still present, but it's begun to soften and deepen. Vanilla comes forward, caramel, a gentle warmth and spice from the oak. This is the sweet spot for a lot of cognac drinkers. Great on the rocks or with a small splash of still water, which actually opens up the aromatics. Old cognac, XO and beyond, 10 years minimum, often much longer. This is a fundamentally different experience. You are no longer drinking something young and bright. You are drinking something that has been transformed over time into extraordinary complexity. Dried fruits, dark chocolate, leather, tobacco, toasted almonds, and underneath all of it, flowers, rose, violet, that somehow survive decades in a barrel. You don't rush this, you don't mix it. You pour it into a wide, bold glass, let it sit for a few minutes. Bring the glass to your nose before it ever reaches your lips, and you sip it slowly, because you are holding something that took longer to make than most people spend at a single job. And here's the final detail, the one that always gets people. Every year, a small percentage of the liquid inside each aging barrel evaporates through the wood. It escapes into the air. It's gone forever. The French call this la part des anges, the angel's share. A cognac that has been aging for 50 years may have lost more than half of its original volume just to evaporation. What remains in the barrel is extraordinarily concentrated, extraordinarily rare, and extraordinarily expensive for a reason that now makes complete sense. So, here's where we land. Cognac is not just brandy. It is a place, it is a process, it is a set of rules that have been refined over centuries. It is wine that Dutch merchants accidentally turned into something magnificent by trying to solve a shipping problem. It is a tiny French town that turned its name into a global luxury brand. It is Napoleon's exile drink. It is the sound of 1990s hip-hop. It is liquid that gives half of itself to the sky over decades and becomes something extraordinary with what remains. Next time you see a bottle, next time you hear the name in a song, next time someone orders it at a bar, you'll know exactly what that is, and you'll be one of the very few people in the room who actually does. Listen, before we wrap up, I want to give you one final reminder about that breakdown. You have worked way too hard to let hidden junk in your everyday food drain your energy, age you prematurely, and steal your money through future medical costs. It is your life and your wallet. Go to my Instagram, send me a message with the words fat burning, and I will send you the exact guide to protect what is yours. Do not leave this value on the table. If you got something from this video, subscribe. We cover the hidden histories behind things you thought you already understood. Leave a comment below. Have you ever tried cognac, and what did you think? I read every single one. See you in the next one.